They told you strength was silence, that emotion was weakness, that if the tears fell, your foundation must be broken. But what they never told you is that the Stoic doesn't run from pain. He faces it, he feels it completely, and then he lets it pass. A Stoic may cry, but not from despair. He cries because he is human, because he understands the weight of existence and chooses to carry it anyway. Pain doesn't make him weaker. It reminds him that he's alive. It sharpens him. It teaches him. There is no shame in the tear that falls in solitude, only honesty, only clarity. Stoicism is not a mask. It is not the suppression of feeling. It is the mastery of response. You can feel rage and not act on it. You can feel sadness and not collapse. You can be surrounded by chaos and still remain still. This is the heart of the Stoic, not made of stone, but made of discipline. He speaks less, not because he has nothing to say, but because he knows words are sacred. He doesn't shout to be heard. He waits and chooses when silence speaks louder. People think the Stoic is cold, but they don't see the inner fire. They don't see the nights he wrestled with his demons and chose to rise again without complaint. The Stoic doesn't seek revenge. He seeks balance. He doesn't beg for peace. He builds it within. He doesn't fight the storm. He becomes the calm at its center. Tears do not betray him. They cleanse him. They humble him. Because he knows, the one who cries and keeps walking is far stronger than the one who never faced pain at all. He has been broken 1,000 times, but each time he rebuilt, quieter, sharper, stronger. Not all who cry are weak. Some are stoic, and they carry a silent strength, the kind that doesn't need to be seen, to be real. They saw his tear and assumed he had broken. But they didn't understand that crying is not collapse. It is pressure leaving the body. It is the soul releasing what the world tried to bury inside. A Stoic knows this. He knows that strength is not the absence of feeling. It is the discipline to feel fully, without being ruled by it. He walks through grief without becoming bitter. He walks through fire without becoming ash. And when the world says, "Be unshaken, be hard, be cold," he replies, "I'll be steady, yes, but not hollow." He does not flinch at loss. He does not beg for comfort. He does not seek validation in the noise of others. Instead, he turns inward. He finds shelter inside the storm of his own mind. And there, he meets himself, naked, flawed, real. The Stoic does not deny pain. He confronts it, not with rage, not with complaint, but with the quiet courage of endurance. When life slams the door in his face, he doesn't scream. He waits. He sharpens. He studies the hinges of that door until he learns how to walk through walls. People think he doesn't feel, but that's the illusion. He feels everything: the insult, the betrayal, the heartbreak. He just refuses to let it define him. You see a man crying and assume weakness, but sometimes those tears are sacred. Sometimes they fall from a man who's holding back the urge to destroy everything around him. A man choosing self-restraint over revenge, clarity over chaos. That's real power. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that chooses when to stay still, when to act, and when to walk away without needing to explain why. The Stoic doesn't cry to be seen. He cries because he's alive, because he still cares, and because in a world that worships noise, he chooses depth. So remember this: the strongest ones don't always roar. Sometimes they tremble and continue. Sometimes they bleed and stay kind. Sometimes they cry and then rise, with fire in their chest and steel in their spine. Not all who cry are weak. Some are stoic. They see the tears and assume the worst. They think he's broken, he's lost, he's weak. But what they don't realize is this: some men cry, not because they are defeated, but because they refuse to let the world harden their soul. This is the quiet truth of Stoicism. It is not about becoming stone. It's about becoming still. Still, like deep water that hides both power and peace. The Stoic doesn't hide from emotion. He just refuses to be enslaved by it. He has learned that grief is not weakness. It's proof you dared to love. That pain is not punishment. It's the price of being real. That silence is not emptiness. It's a battleground where the strongest fight and few survive. He walks into suffering with eyes wide open, not hoping to avoid it, but prepared to endure it, to learn from it, to grow through it. Every man who walks the Stoic path has cried, not once, not twice, but over and over again, until the tears no longer burn. They cleanse, they teach, they remind him that he is still alive, still human, and still becoming something greater. People misunderstand. They think Stoicism is about indifference, but indifference is a form of death. The Stoic does not shut down his heart. He sharpens it. He feels everything, but chooses what deserves a reaction. He hears the insult, feels the betrayal, carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken thoughts, but responds, not with anger, not with revenge, but with control. That is strength, because anyone can explode. Anyone can cry out and blame the world, but only the Stoic can hold the storm inside and still walk with peace. He is not trying to impress you. He's not seeking applause. He simply wants to master himself. That's it. That's the goal. Mastery of mind, mastery of reaction, mastery of impulse. And yes, sometimes the tears still come, in the quiet, at night, in between the battles no one sees. But he wipes them away with the same hand he lifts himself back up with. No audience, no praise, just resolve. The Stoic doesn't cry because he is weak. He cries because he is strong enough to feel and wise enough not to drown in it. He allows himself to grieve, but not to surrender. He allows himself to stumble, but not to stay down. He walks with loss. He walks with pain. He walks with scars the world may never understand. And yet he walks. And when people say he's quiet, he's cold, he's distant, let them say it, because the ones who have truly faced themselves, they don't need to explain. So when you see a man cry, look deeper. It may not be weakness at all. It may be the moment before he rises stronger than ever. Not all who cry are weak. Some are stoic, and their silence is louder than words. I don't cry to be seen. I don't cry to be understood. I cry because something inside me refuses to lie to itself anymore. I've carried too much, for too long, in too much silence. And no one ever taught me that strength could live beside sorrow, that a man can feel deeply and still stand unshaken. They told me, real men don't cry. Strong men don't break. Silent men are the ones who win. But I've learned, real men do cry. Strong men do bend, and silence. Silence can be both a weapon and a wound. You see, I'm not trying to appear invincible. I'm trying to be whole. I'm trying to live in a way that honors the weight I carry, without letting it crush me. The Stoic in me doesn't deny the world's cruelty. He just refuses to let it define who I become. Yes, I've been hurt. Yes, I've lost people. Yes, I've stood in rooms full of people and felt completely alone. But I've also endured. Not because I was stronger than the pain, but because I stopped running from it. And when the tears come, and they do, I don't shame myself. I don't apologize. I listen. Every tear has a message. Every emotion is a messenger, not an enemy. The Stoic knows this. He doesn't fight his feelings. He filters them. He asks, is this feeling here to destroy me or to teach me? Sometimes the answer isn't clear. Sometimes it's both. But I let it come anyway, because avoiding emotion is like avoiding the truth. And the Stoic is devoted to truth, no matter how painful. So I cry, quietly, alone, not to fall apart, but to empty what no longer belongs in me. So I can breathe again, so I can think again, so I can lead myself through the fire without burning everything down. People look at me and think I'm strong because I'm quiet, but it's not the silence that makes me strong. It's what I've faced in the silence. I've looked my demons in the eye. I've watched parts of me die so something better could take its place. I've walked through guilt, regret, shame, doubt, And I've come out slower, quieter, wiser. Not all who cry are weak. Some are simply cleaning the lens through which they see the world. Some are men like me, wounded but walking, tired but focused, hurt but harder to shake each time. Some are stoic,